The verdict is out. The process of reforming the judiciary and aligning its structures with the new constitutional dispensation will now take another giant stride forward following a landmark ruling by a three-judge bench that will see the country's first Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, up and running. Justices John Mwera, Mohammed, Warsame and Philomena Mwilu dismissed a case filed by 6 women organizations led by the Federation of Women Lawyers (FIDA) that had argued that the nomination of the 5 Supreme Court judges was against the constitutional requirement on gender balance, in particular Article 27, which states that not more than 2/3 of members of an elective public body shall be of the same gender. In their ruling, the judges said that the Judicial Service Commission (JSC) did not breach the Constitution when it nominated the 5 judges to the highest court in the land, since there is no proper legislation yet to effect the principle enshrined in Article 27. The ruling says in part, and I quote, "To the petitioners and supporters, we advise that you keep your feminine missiles to their launching pads until the state acts on policies and programs as envisaged by Article 26, subsection 6 and subsection 8, and the legislature has legislated according to the set formula, the mechanisms and standards to implement the spirit of the whole Constitution within the timeframe set by the Constitution." End of quote. The ruling further states, quote, "We think any claim on Article 27 can only be sustained against the government with specific complaints and after it has failed to take legislative and other measures or after inadequate mechanisms by the state." End of quote.
It's a sad day for women because the court has declined to assist the country in the implementation.
It was a good judgment. It was founded on the material that was presented.
With the dismissal of the case, the stage is now set for their swearing in. The 5 judges, Dr. Smoky Nwanjala, who has a rich educational background in the field of law and has served in several positions, including as former Deputy Director of the Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission, Njoki Ndongo, an advocate of the High Court of Kenya and a former nominated MP, Justice Mohammed Ibrahim, a Mombasa High Court judge, Justice Jackton Ojwang, a professor of constitutional law with a PhD from Cambridge University, and Justice Philip Tunoi, a Court of Appeal judge who also sits on the bench of the East Africa Court of Justice, shall now sit in the highest court in the land, whose president will be the Chief Justice and Deputy Chief Justice as the Vice President. The Supreme Court will have the exclusive jurisdiction to hear and determine all petitions arising out of a presidential election, and it will also be the appellate court of last resort and the highest court in the land, whose decisions will be binding on all other courts. For the women organizations, the High Court's decision to throw out their petition challenging the gender composition of the Supreme Court judges is a major setback. But for the 5 Supreme Court judges, it's now time for work as they can now take up their offices at Kenya's highest court. Sheila Sendeyo, Citizen TV.